September's craft club tutorial is here. If you guys didn't know, I have a monthly craft subscription box where each month you can get crafts sent straight to your door, from varying things of everyday home decor to seasons and holidays. And for this month, we have a really fun kind of Thanksgiving type theme that I think you guys are absolutely going to love. So without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial so you can see how to put your kits together. So here's the kit that comes in all 3 boxes. If you get box 2 or 3, you'll also receive this really fun 6x6 paper pad that you can use on your kit. You can use it on other DIY projects or decor projects that you have going on, or even scrapbooking. And then here are all the pieces that you should have received in your box. I'm going to start out by tracing out some paper. So I took this paper out of the paper pad, and then I'm going to trace the cornucopia onto that piece. I wanted to do kind of a stripy pattern, so I cut out several of those little pieces on the cornucopia. I then went in with some lighter brown paint, and I'm going to paint more stripes onto that. I just followed the engraved lines and did in every other one for the painting. And then I took a bit of a darker color to fill in the whole of the cornucopia. Now I was out of parchment paper, so I couldn't do my Mod Podge and heat press method for sticking on my paper. So I just grabbed a glue stick and stuck my paper on. It worked just as well as the other method. So if all else fails, use your glue stick. I'm going to start painting all my other little pieces. I took a really kind of mustardy yellow for my corn. I painted all 3 of those in that color. For my leaves, I took kind of an orangey red color and did that on the leaves. I wanted them to look like it was fall and the leaves were changing colors. So I painted it with that, and then I did go over it a little bit with that mustardy yellow that we used on the corn, just to give it some dimension and not look so flat. For the berries, I painted a dark purple. You could paint these any color that you want. If you want to paint them purple like grapes, if you wanted to do blue for blueberries, whatever you feel like they are, then you can paint them that color. For my apple, I just painted that red and painted the stem brown. And then for my pumpkins, I painted one in the color Rust from COUTURE. I just mixed a little bit of water with it. I love the orangey rusty tones rather than like a really stark orange. So once I got that painted, I did go in with a little bit of browns and then mixed in the orange again. I wanted to add a bit of dimension to the pumpkins so they looked a little dirty, so that they had a bit more detail. So I just went back and forth with that brown and that orange. And then for my other gourd, I'm going to paint that white, and then I do the same method with the brown and then the white, and I just kind of mix those together until I get the details and dimension that I want. Now, before I start assembling the piece, I lay out all the pieces where I want them to go. So I just kind of played around with the arrangement of everything until I got it the way that I liked it. You can do this however you want. You're just going to layer your pieces. I chose to put the leaves and the corn in the background and then stack my pumpkins on top of those. I did my apple on top of the 2 pumpkins and then the berries right below that. To glue your pieces down, I use the wood glue super glue that comes from the Dollar Tree. This works perfectly and it dries fairly quickly, so you don't have to worry about your pieces sliding around when you are gluing everything together. And that is it for our cornucopia. I think this turned out so beautiful. I love the scrapbook paper detail on the ends, and I just think it looks so good. So if you've got box 1, 2, and 3, you will receive this kit in your box. For box number 3, you're going to receive that first kit, the paper pad, plus this kit and these 2 accessory items, the chipboard and the frames and tags. Here are all the pieces for number 3's kit. I'm going to start out by painting my pumpkins. So I have more of a yellowy orange for 2 of my pumpkins, and I just kind of did a pattern with this. I did orange, white, and then a blue. But again, you can paint your pumpkins whatever color you want, however you want these to look. You can make them look. That's what I love about these, is everybody can make them look unique to them, have it match their home decor, their style. Whatever colors you choose, it will look perfect. So I wanted to mention a little trick. If you ever get paint in those engraved lines, you can take a pointed object. I like taking a needle and I drag the needle through the engraved lines. That's going to scrape the paint out of it, and then it brings back the detail for the pumpkins. And for each of my pumpkins, I did do that same technique with the brown and adding detail. I just add the brown, layer it back with the original color, and go back and forth until I have it the way I like it. And for my 2 smaller pumpkins, I'm going to paint these with a mustardy yellow color. You don't have to paint the middle of those pumpkins since those smaller pieces will be glued on top, so don't worry about painting the whole middle. Now for all my letters and for my base, I just chose to paint these in black. And then once all of your paint has dried, you can begin assembling your kit. So I took some glue, added it onto my 2 smaller pumpkins, and then you're going to add the middle of those pumpkins right on top. For your letters, you can put the glue on the back of the letter and then put them just in the middle as best as you can. I tried to get mine as even as possible, but honestly, there's not a whole lot of ways that you can make it look not great. So just try to put them in the middle and it will look perfect. You're going to insert your main piece into your base and then glue down your smaller pumpkins. I glued them in between the T and the H and the K and the S. And then one little surprise piece in this month's box, we did throw in a beaded garland for all box number 3s. So you can paint the beaded garland any colors you want. I wanted to show you another way that you could use your chipboard accents that will come in this month's box. So I painted half of the beads white and I painted half of the beads yellow. I'm going to use one of those chipboard accents as the end for my beaded garland. All you got to do is punch a hole in it. I have a crocodile tool that can punch through, so I just punched a hole in it, and then we're going to assemble the garland. So I just did a pattern with the yellow and the white back and forth until I had all my beads strung on the twine. I strung the chipboard accent on one side and tied it in a double knot. And then for the other side, I made a tassel by wrapping the twine around my hand a couple times. You'll tie all the loops to the other end of your tassel, and then with some extra twine, you can tie that around the middle of your tassel and then wrap it around and around and around and tie that in a double knot. Lastly, you'll cut all the loops on the other side, give it a little haircut so everything is nice and even, and that's all you got to do to make your garland. So I thought this was a fun little addition for this month's box, give you something different that you can do with your chipboard accents, or if you even wanted to use those ephemera pieces on something else to create your garland, or however it is that you want to do it. I just wanted to give you that extra option this month.
And that's it for today's video. I hope that this was helpful in giving you some inspiration on how to assemble your kit and some colors that you can use to paint them. If you guys want to sign up for my craft club, I will leave the link down below. If you want these kits specifically, they are only available through September. So if you want them, sign up before September ends to get your hands on them. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!